recording from the original Wahlburgers location in Hingham, Massachusetts on February 14, 2018. Welcome back to Bob Ryan's Boston Podcast. I don't want to forget, we need to talk about somebody and an experience you had, which was way back at the beginning at the Globe, and that is those very interesting Patriots. They're not the Patriots that we know today, the Chuck Fairbanks Patriots of your acquaintance, were they? And tell us a little bit about Chuck Fairbanks and was he remotely accommodating to you or not?
No, he was not. He was really tough. I found the black athletes, the African Americans, were great to me because they said they know what it's like to be the only one. But people were great to me. I mean, like Will McDonough was, Carlo Emilio, remember Ron Hobson
Sure.
from Providence?
Yeah.
Those guys could have been really brutal to me, and they weren't. They were great. No, I remember, Chuck Fairbanks. I mean, wasn't he had that sort of Scandinavian look, the squinted eyes, and he had been, I think, had he been with Osborne or something in Nebraska or Alabama?
Well, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, that's what it was. It was Switzer, that's what it was. And he, I remember the first day I went there and I asked a question about one of his linebackers, and the first thing he said to me is, "Why don't you call my daughter and go to lunch? You're about the same age." I was mortified. But did you ever hear my incredibly terrible? Billy Sullivan was okay because Will McDonough had told him this is what's going to happen, so he was okay. But the actual credential said no women or children in the press box.
Oh, yes.
So that's what I had to wear, and I'll never forget because everybody smoked. I was not a smoker, but you know how they would put the papers kind of by your size, and the Globe was so big that I always had Chicago to the right of me, and Bob Verdi smoked cigars.
Oh, I remember Bob. I know Bob. Yes. Oh, geez.
He was great.
One of the most interesting wry humor people I've ever met was Bob Verdi.
They were. Chicago, I mean, Boston's the funniest. In Boston, you're just funny. We're just funny people. But I went around mostly all the college basketball. I had to go around because of the size of the papers. I went around with John Feinstein and Dick Weiss. Two of your longtime great friends. Yep. And the three of us, we were like the Mod Squad. I mean, every single, and back then, I can't believe then I got to do tournaments with everybody on TV. When I started, it was Brent and Billy Packer, and then I did Dick Enberg and Bill Walton, and I had 8 years with Vern Lundquist and the funniest Bill Raftery. He could be a comedian. But I'll never forget a game with the great Dick Enberg. We miss him. We had Arizona in the game, and Bill Walton started ripping his son Luke.
Terrible game.
Yeah, terrible. That's a
terrible pass.
Walton, what is that? And there's Dick Enberg, ever the gentleman, saying, "Oh, I'm sure he's doing his best. Oh, come on now."
That's great.
I got to remind.
I must tell people too that I have had the privilege right now of speaking with a woman who has carried an Olympic torch.
Oh, you know what's interesting about that is it's the flame that goes around the world, not the torch. This was really interesting. First of all, you have to sign 23 pages that you will in no way alter the shirt because it has to look exactly the same by the time it gets to Korea as it did when it passed through the United States. And they have a plane, and they keep it lit when they go over the oceans. So it's really amazing. And you take the flame from someone, and then you pass the flame on. And it is, it's
how long a trot do you make?
I think each person does it for a half a mile, and so. You have to you're nervous. I did it in New York, and I passed CBS, so everybody was hanging out the windows at CBS. It was really, really powerful. And it can be all kinds of people, like one woman who was I think we started down near Wall Street, and she was a blind singer at the Met. And you have guards anyway. There are guards, runners and motorcyclists that that are by the torch the whole time. But they let me keep the torch, so I have it framed. Yeah,
that's great.
Pretty good, yeah.